Hello everybody and welcome to another video. My name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and boy do we have a show for you, for everybody. In case you haven't heard it, unless you have not been on the internet in the past 24 hours, or more specifically the past 2 or 3 hours, Lionel Messi has gone to Inter Miami. He has confirmed it, the club confirmed it, the club owner confirmed it. We're here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Messi joining Inter. We're going to talk about what this means potentially for the Argentina national team, or his career with the Argentina national team, specifically the upcoming Copa America next year and the 2026 World Cup. We're going to talk about it all. We already have Pablo Miguel in the chat. Vamos Argentina, of course. Vamos Argentina. And this is some big news. This is some massive, massive news, and we're going to talk about it all. So if you're in the chat, let me know where you're watching from. We always get worldwide here on these live discussions. Let me know where you're based, where you're watching from. But yeah, so Messi has joined Inter Miami. The saga is over. It's not Barcelona. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's not any other club, be it in Europe or anywhere else around the world. MLS, Major League Soccer, have gotten none other than the World Cup winner himself. And we're already getting, look at these comments. Vinny, the lack of respect from Laporta and his team is disgusting. We're going to talk about all of this. We're going to talk about, the statement that was just released by Barcelona just a couple of minutes ago. And let me know in the comments, what do you think of this transfer move? Do you like it? Do you not like it? If yes, why? And that's what we're going to talk about. So, look, Messi's 35. He's going to be 36. And could he still play in Europe? Absolutely. Messi can definitely still play in Europe. But this move, and I spoke about this a little bit on Twitter, and I would have loved to have seen him back at Barcelona. I'm a Barcelona fan. Would have loved to have seen him back there playing at the Camp Nou. However, Barcelona cannot afford him. Right, we spoke about this in the last live discussion when you guys asked me, where do you think he's going to go? I said, I think he's going to go to Inter. I think he's going to go to Inter Miami. And Barcelona cannot afford him. And realistically speaking, Messi's 35. He's going to be 36 in just a couple of weeks, in about 2 weeks' time. And look at this, Pablo Miguel, all the way from Nigeria. It's 9:51 p.m. in Nigeria. Thank you, Pablo Miguel. Rio, hello, Rio. And Rio says, he's still too good and too young for MLS. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to discuss as well. So, Messi's 35. He's going to be 36. And this is exactly it. Barcelona had no guarantees. And he was going to wait, and he was going to wait, and he waited. And apparently they told him, well, we're going to present something in May. May comes and goes, nothing. We're now, the first week of June has passed, still nothing. And actually, this is a very good comment here. If Messi's happy, I'm happy. He has given me everything as a fan. I agree with that, man. I totally agree, right? He's given us so many joys. All the way from Georgia. Hello, Ehsan. Ehsan Pa from Georgia. Thank you for joining us. Now, Messi's 35, going to be 36. He waited on Barcelona. They would not, they're not able to afford him, right? Point blank. They just can't afford him. And there are too many variables there. Now, is Messi really going to go to the Premier League at 35 or actually 36 in about a week or two? Highly unlikely, right? Highly unlikely. He spoke about, Paris not being the best of times for him there, for him or his family. And he said, if I'm going to take the money, if it was a money thing, I would go to Saudi Arabia. And it's not a money thing. So his options were either wait for Barcelona, which that offer might never come, because as I said, there's too many variables. Who knows if they could even afford him. 2, go to the Premier League at 36, which in all likelihood is not probably something he wanted to do for many reasons as well, right? Culture, adaptation, his family. And then what? Does he wait to potentially maybe get an offer somewhere from Italy or Germany? Probably not. So Europe is out of the question. To go to Saudi Arabia and to refuse reportedly $1 billion is insane. Yet Messi did that. And now if we're looking at it from a business standpoint, from a family standpoint, from a business standpoint, Inter Milan makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But before I do, let me go back to the chat here. Here we go. So Sylvia Noriega. Hello, Sylvia. Thank you for joining. Sylvia says this move is more about his family. He wants to be able to spend time with them without the pressure of winning another trophy. So this is certainly something, right? Spending time with the family. This is something Messi spoke about when he made his announcement earlier today in an interview with Mundo Deportivo. So I love this. Yes, Sylvia, thank you, thank you. Calvin, I'm doing well, buddy. How are you? And thank you for joining us, Calvin. Love it. Yes, definitely big up. And absolutely hit that like button, everybody. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button to never miss a video, never miss a thing, to know when a new video is coming up, and hit the like button. If you're watching us on repeat, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. What do you think of this move? And if you're watching us live, of course, thank you as well. And going to this comment here by Hassan, Messi should enjoy from football, and I think he will be a better footballist in Miami than in Paris. If he could enjoy himself a lot in Miami, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. And Sylvia mentioned just a couple of moments ago in this comment, saying this move is more about his family. And, I spoke about this on Twitter. I briefly mentioned it. Messi's 35, going to be 36. He does not need our approval. He doesn't need anyone's approval to say, oh, well, he did not, or he will not have cemented his legacy, or he would have tarnished his legacy if he leaves Europe and doesn't go to Barcelona and ends up going to the MLS. No, he doesn't need that. At 35 or 36, he has a family. He needs to think of them as well. It's not just himself. Should he think of his fans or something else? That's a whole other issue. That's a whole other thing. We're talking about Messi, the person, not just Messi, the athlete, right? Because sometimes as fans, we get so caught up and we get so sentimental and emotional, right? The love story between Messi and Barcelona, we know it, right? And if we wanted that happy ending, Messi would have gone back to Barcelona for sure, right? Like that would have happened. The deal, Barcelona would have been able to afford him and bring him in. But, we live in a world where happy endings don't necessarily always, happen. And in this case, it didn't. Messi found another club, right? And business-wise, this is massive. This is absolutely massive. And I was just going to get to this, Calvin. Exactly. So much respect came from Leo, right? And to read this comment by Calvin says, I like how Leo conducted this. He cleared up everything. Of course, the media will always spread lies and do everything for clicks. Leo did the right thing for him and for his family. And this is exactly it. Messi wasn't coming out every couple of days and making a statement and saying, I'm waiting for this and I'm waiting for that. And Laporta didn't give me this. And Xavi said that. No. He kept quiet. The time came. He released a statement. And that's it. And that is it. And we have Zongao from Kentucky, and Goat and family are happy and good for Miami. Yes. Hello, Zongao. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So, Messi's looking at this from, as I said, not just an athletic standpoint, but from a family standpoint, and as well business-wise, right? Business-wise, this is huge. This is the biggest transfer deal in the history of Major League Soccer. This, in my opinion, surpasses David Beckham when he signed for the Los Angeles Galaxy in 2007. And that was big and that was massive in its own right. For me, Messi, just a little bit higher, right? Just a little bit more. And, well, there you go, Rian. Rian said, so sad, I wanted one more season in Europe. I would have loved to have seen Messi one more season in Europe. Don't get me wrong. But when we look at, what I just mentioned in terms of Barcelona not able to afford him, and is he really going to go to another league at 36 and bring his family over and having, they have to adapt and having to adapt for a season or two, it's maybe not worth it for them, right? And these are decisions that tend to be made as a family. And Messi joining Inter Miami, Messi joining Inter Miami for sure was something that was influenced by his family, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And as a deal, I mentioned business. Well, business-wise, if we talk very quickly about what was mentioned, right? There was an article, a great article, informative one, right, by The Athletic, and they released this news. They kind of broke the news on Tuesday night. The Athletic said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he's going to get a percentage of the profits from Apple, and then Adidas, right? He's going to get a cut from Adidas as well. So this is huge business-wise. This is massive. Is this going to hit the $1 billion mark that was reportedly rumored from Saudi Arabia? Who knows? Maybe in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, he'll have pocketed that much. Maybe not. I don't know, right? Time will tell, I guess. But in this case, financially, as a business wise, it makes a lot of sense. Family wise, it makes sense. And in terms of the player, well, look, if he's not going to play in Europe, and he said it himself, he doesn't really want to play elsewhere in Europe if it's not Barcelona, then that's it. He's going to have to go elsewhere. And that's what he did, right? That's what he did. And good for him. Good for him. If we go back to the chat here, Calvin, I think the problem with Barcelona was the timing. Leo said he wanted Barca. That was his priority, but Barca could not assure his registration. He didn't want the same situation as in 2021. And that's it. That's another thing as well, right? He waited in 2021. He waited and this and that. And we saw what happened. Maybe the same thing would have happened now, but Messi probably didn't want to wait on that, right? He didn't want to wait another couple of weeks or a month or two and then kind of be stuck and have to find another club and that's that. He didn't want that. He did not want that. So let's go back. Let's continue. Rio, I'll always follow Messi no matter where he goes as his compatriot. I know family is most important to him. Absolute respect. As long as I can still watch him play, even though I'm in Canada. Well, depending on where you are in Canada, Rio, if you're in Montreal, if you're in Toronto, or if you're in Vancouver, you will probably still get the chance to watch Messi. I believe those are the 3 Canadian cities that have MLS teams: Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. Unless I'm missing one, but I doubt it. But yes. And Rian, good for us. Another World Cup coming. Why not? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what this means for Messi and the World Cup and the Copa America in just a couple of minutes as well. So stay tuned. Family-wise, business-wise, it checks off, Pablo Miguel. Exactly. Vinny, they won't announce it now, but he will become a part owner of Inter Miami, similar to Beckham having an option to own a club. I don't doubt that something like this is planned. I fully agree. I think something like this is being planned, is being discussed. It probably will not be, stated or announced. Even when Messi does sign his contract, it's probably something that's going to be announced later on. But I wholeheartedly agree with that idea, Vinny. Totally. Calvin says, and Inter Miami was the second choice in this stage of his career. This makes sense. I remember him referring that his family wanted to live in the United States at some point. This is the moment, I guess. Yes, and that's another thing. And let's not forget, Messi did state that. Yes, he did. And Messi does own a condo, right? He owns a house in Miami. If I'm not mistaken, it's in the Porsche building. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on that, but I think it's in the Porsche building. And, he has that. And to get to Caspian as well, yes, the AFA is planning to build a mini hub / headquarters thing in South Florida as well. So for Argentina, that's a win for him. He's based essentially right next to the AFA where they're going to be. So there you go. It all makes sense. Could Messi still play at the highest level for the next 2 years? No doubt about it. Absolutely, he could. He easily could. But there's a lot more to consider. And these are all the things that we're discussing right now. All right. Hassan says, Messi, after winning the World Cup, football was over for me. He completed football. Messi completed football, right? He really did. He really, really did. And the other aspect, this could be another thing as well. Yes, Gerardo Tata Martino is being heavily rumored to become the new coach of Inter Miami. That's another thing as well. Someone that, Messi knows pretty well. He had him as a coach first at Barcelona, and then he had him as a coach with the Argentina national team. So he knows him, right? I don't know what the status is or, what state their relationship is in. I don't know, right? I'm pretty sure it's on pretty good terms. But that's another thing as well. And if you look at the rumors or the reports that are out there now, Inter Miami is not only looking to bring in Tata Martino, but Angel Di Maria, Leandro Paredes are also now being linked to Inter Miami. Luis Suarez, who's very good friends with Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba are also being linked to Inter Miami. So if you look at it that way, I mean, for Messi, yes, it's a new city, it's a new this, but as a hub, if he has his friends there, and, we joke about this, but he doesn't even have to learn a new language. For anyone who's ever been to Miami, or maybe for those watching us that live in Miami or live in Florida, you'll know Miami, you don't need to know English. You need to know Spanish if you live in Miami. You don't need to know English. So for Messi and his family, it's a no-brainer in that sense. It's really a no-brainer. Let's continue. Calvin, the waiting bit is a reason for sure, but in the interview he mentioned he did not want to be the reason players had to leave or take a pay cut. I do think Messi cares for Barcelona a lot. No doubt about that. Yes, and that's another thing as well. It was quite a lengthy interview that Messi gave to Mundo Deportivo. And by the way, it's on Mundo Albiceleste.com. You can go read it. But yes, Messi did not want to be the reason why Barcelona or players at Barcelona had to take a pay cut or had to leave the club in order for him to join. So as I mentioned at the start, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of aspects, and it's not easy, and it's not easy for all involved. It absolutely is not easy. And to your, to your comments here, Calvin, I think Messi cares about Barcelona way more than people realize, and way more than we'll probably ever know, to be quite honest. And it just shows you the other side of Messi, where it's like, I don't want these players to take a pay cut. Why should they have to take a pay cut for me to join the club? And that's a whole other thing as well. Vinny says, I'm so glad it's Miami and not Saudi. Living in LA, I'll be able to catch some games. There you go, right? LA to Miami is what, a 3-hour flight or 4-hour flight, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure when Inter Miami go to LA to play, right? You guys have 2 teams there, if I'm not mistaken. You get the choice. Old school purist, do you think he'll win the Ballon d'Or if City loses the Champions League? We'll do a separate video about this. Man, I think Messi could win the Ballon d'Or even if City win the Champions League, but we'll see about that. All right. R_guy2, hello. And by the way, hello to old school purist as well. So hello, Roy. I really think the combination of the 2 years in Paris plus the World Cup played a huge role. He wasn't happy. He did everything in football. And that's the thing. Messi wanted to finish his career having, won the World Cup, right? Which has always been his dream. And that was a dream he was able to accomplish on December 18, 2022. So, I think the fact that he won that World Cup, that gave him a sense of, inner peace for sure. And it gave him a sense of also, okay, well, now what? Like, I've won everything. I'm cool. I'm calm. Because it's not like, let's say he would not have won the World Cup, and then he's thinking, well, I have to stay in top shape maybe for another 4 years. Is the move to Inter Miami really going to help me in that regard? It's not like that, right? He won the World Cup. That's it. The focus is gone. Doesn't mean he doesn't care about Argentina or doesn't want to win trophies anymore at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, that pressure, that burden, it's away now. He won a Copa America. He won a World Cup. So it's good in that aspect. Let's continue. Yes, Asbian. Tata is from Rosario as well. Same city as Messi, same city as Di Maria, as Banega, Maxi Rodriguez, and several others as well. Hey, Vinny, that's a good point. Tata Martino won with Atlanta United in 2018, so he knows the league, he knows the culture. And this also means, speaking of Atlanta United, that the MLS now have 2 World Cup winners in Lionel Messi and Thiago Almada. So a little trivia you guys can play with some friends. How many World Cup winners does the MLS have right now? Or at least 2022 World Cup winners. Rio, Roy, do you think he can still be loaned to Barca to keep competing there? Isn't this what Inter and Barca were planning? Yay, you're in Toronto. Hey, that's good. So I'm happy to know I can still watch him play. There you go. You guys got Toronto FC. Look, I know a lot of us, it was mentioned. It was something I think I even spoke about in the last video where I said Messi maybe could join Inter and then he ends up going to Barcelona on loan. I don't see that happening anymore. Just because of the recent statement that was released by Barcelona just a couple of minutes ago, left a sour taste in my mouth. There was a comment there. I'll bring it up. But actually, you know what? I'll bring it up right now. But there was a comment by Barcelona when it came out. I think it was by Laporta, who said something Well, instead of paraphrasing, I'll bring it up now. Here we go. I'll just gonna share the comment here. There you go, guys. All right. So here we go. So the second paragraph, it says President Laporta understood and respected Messi's decision to want to compete in a league with fewer demands, further away from the spotlight and the pressure he has been subject to in recent years. So, that right there, I think kind of squanders any potential chance of a loan deal. Not saying it won't happen. Never say never, especially in football. But I don't see it happening, especially not after that comment. Not after that comment. Hey, thank you, Padre Miguel. Thank you. The same one for Rio, and for those maybe in Canada, United States. I know, Padre Miguel, you're in Nigeria, but if you're in Canada, you're in the United States, and you're looking to get this shirt, I get all of my football stuff from Evangelista Sports. You guys could Google them, Evangelista Sports. If I'm not mistaken, they even have a base in Toronto. They have a store in Toronto. If not, you could order online. They have a store in Montreal and Toronto. You could order online. They do ship Canada-wide, and they ship in the United States as well. And I know they sell this, and they also sell the World Cup winning shirt with the badge and the 3 stars. I have it. I showed it in the last video. So thank you, Padre Miguel. All right, guy 2. Do you believe you'll have a starting place if he decides to play? All right, very good question. And we're going to get to this because we have a whole other segment where we're going to talk about Messi and his Argentina future. So we're going to talk about that too in just a couple of moments. Silvia Di Maria, right? Di Maria as well. He's a free agent. He's leaving Juventus. Calvin, for sure, you see how he speaks when the media makes it out to be that he is the villain, that he doesn't care for Barcelona. He said he got hurt by those comments. He always showed love to Barcelona. So that's the other thing as well, right? They're going to paint him out to be the villain. The media or some part of the media will try to paint him out to be the villain. He's the problem. He could have waited. He didn't want to go to Barcelona. If he really wanted to go, he would have been there. So you're always going to get those comments, and it absolutely is hurtful, right? It absolutely is hurtful. All right, guys, sorry to bother you again. No bother. I'm living in France. I want to know, in Argentina those past few months, at what stage Messi changed dimension for Argentinians? Have a good evening. Première des choses, merci beaucoup. Et à vous aussi une belle soirée. So yes, I do speak French. Anyways, so the past few months, at what stage Messi changed dimensions for Argentinians? I don't think it was necessarily the past few months. I think it was the pinpoint, if I have to be precise. I think what really got everything going were his comments in 2019 after the semifinal match against Brazil at the Copa America, where he came out in the media and he spoke about, the referees, the CONMEBOL, and this and that. And I think that really got people going, the Argentine, behind Messi even more. And then obviously winning the Copa America is a whole other thing. And then the Finalissima. And then at the World Cup, you had his comments against the Dutch, right, against the Netherlands, which really got people even more excited and even more going. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was the past couple of months, but I would say this started back in 2019, to be very honest. Padre Miguel, Laporta literally is a politician, yes. Yes, he is. Vinny, they also stated there was a proposal when there clearly was not a formal proposal, right? And that's something Messi mentioned as well. He said, I never got anything concrete. I never got anything written and sent to me. That's something, right? There's a difference between receiving something in written and just saying, yeah, we'll propose you this. Well, no, there's no guarantees. Barcelona were not able to guarantee anything. Shamo, thank you, Shamo. Thank you for joining. Just tuning in. Great to see you, Roy. Likewise, buddy. On the plus side, Messi being at the US will help to understand the condition as Copa and World Cup coming in. Yes, and I mentioned this, we're going to get to it, promise you guys, in just about a minute or two. But yes, let's not forget, next year's Copa America is held in the United States. The World Cup is held in the United States. In Canada and Mexico, of course, as well, right? The co-hosts, but majority of the matches are in the United States. Messi's going to be there, so it's way less traveling for him. in that sense. And for him to go from Miami to Buenos Aires or Miami to Rosario, it's not the same as having to fly from Paris or having to fly from Barcelona. It's way closer. It's way closer. Yes, my ninja. Hello, yes, my ninja. By the way, everybody, if you're new, thank you. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching us on replay, come on, hit, let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of this? So yes, my ninja, that club statement showed what Barcelona is all about. Laporta. That guy's ego couldn't handle someone bigger than him at the club. Look, as I said at the start, I'm a Barcelona fan. They're the team I support. Off the pitch, I'm not a big fan of them, or specifically Laporta, using Messi's name, although we can talk about that for way too long, so I'm not going to get into that. But I do get what you mean. I'm glad he's not going back to that club, considering what's going on there. To be honest, just dirty politics. That's a whole other thing as well. All right, now I got a couple of questions earlier, just a couple of moments ago, and I said this at the start, and we're going to talk about it now. So Messi going to Inter Miami. What does this mean for Argentina in 2024 to 2026? Shamo, seeing you speak French just makes me want to see you speak in Bangla too. To learn it if you get time. It's a beautiful language. Love from Bangladesh. Shamo, I'd love to learn it. I love languages. I really do. I speak 4, but I don't know. I don't know Bangladesh language, or Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. I'd love to learn it though. I'd love to learn it, and much love as well. So for Argentina, the ticket prices for Inter are going very high. So I could just imagine how much the jerseys are going to be. But yeah, what are you going to do? It's Messi. It's the Messi effect. All right. So Argentina 2024, 2026. What this means for Lionel Messi. Paro Miguel says Messi will retire from international football soon, in my opinion. A part of me agrees with you, Paro Miguel, and then another part of me thinks, right, so he's going to play the Copa America. I think that's a given. I don't think that would be a surprise. The situation there becomes win or lose, and knock on wood, it's a win. But if Argentina win that Copa America or lose, doesn't matter, right? What I'm talking about specifically about Messi's career doesn't matter. But after that, we're going to be 2 years away from the World Cup. Yes, Messi's going to be 39-ish, right? 38, 39 at that World Cup. So you're up there in age. You're getting there in age. But could Messi potentially still play a role, right? Could he play the Copa America next year and then say, well, you know what? I'm still playing well. The World Cup is in 2 years' time. Maybe I won't be a starter, but I'll still be able to help the team. So that's a whole other thing as well. Now, I think it's, in my head, I think it's all but a guarantee that Messi will play the Copa America next year with Argentina in the United States. I think that's a given, right? I don't think there's any discussion really needed about that. The question becomes, as I said, is would he wait those 2 years and say, well, you know what, I'll play the World Cup? Because it's not as if after the Copa America, the World Cup is in 4 years. Because then I think, okay, you know what, he might call it quits and not wait the 4 years. But waiting 2 years, I don't know. We'll be, the World Cup qualifiers start in September. We got 2 games in September, 2 games in October, 2 games in November of this year. So by the time the Copa America ends next year, we'll have been about halfway into that, halfway into the qualifiers. Is Messi really going to call it quits? I don't know. We'll see in a year's time, I guess, but I would not be surprised if Messi's there at the next World Cup, especially considering that it's in the United States. There's no traveling. There's nothing. He'll have known the culture a little bit better, known the stadiums, which is always very helpful as well. Romain, hello, Romain. Thank you for joining. Romain. Messi is going to be great for developing football in the USA. It could take MLS to the next level. I think it will take the MLS to the next level. I think that's what the MLS are banking on. We spoke about Apple. We spoke about Adidas involved. And, MLS really pushing to get him in Inter Miami and David Beckham. And credit to them. They're getting the biggest star in world football. the greatest of all time for many. If he's not number one for many, he's number two, because for those, they might say Maradona is number one. But yeah, it's there. I think it will. And the fact that they have the Copa America next year and the World Cup will certainly help a lot as well. The demand is ridiculous right now for Inter Miami tickets. It really is. Yes, my ninja says Messi will not retire, not before the next Copa. Shamo, hope Messi stays till the World Cup. I think a lot of people want that as well. The climate of Scalonetta is good at the moment. He wants to enjoy it while it lasts, right? It's really the tail end of his national team career and potentially his career overall as well. I'm going to throw this back to you guys. What do you guys think of Paredes and Di Maria being linked to Inter Miami? My initial thoughts is, why not? In terms of Di Maria, why not? I would love to see Paredes stay in Europe because I think it's still very early for him to make the jump over. But someone like Di Maria at his age, he's given everything there is to give to the national team and to his clubs. He's played for literally the biggest clubs in the world. The biggest in the world, Real Madrid, Manchester United. He played for the biggest club, or one of two biggest clubs in Portugal with Benfica. The biggest club, I guess, technically now in France with PSG. He's given everything there is to give, right? I think Di Maria going to the MLS, I think would be a cool move. It'd be fun to see him finally with Messi at club level. But Paredes, I think, is still a little bit too early. Yes, my ninja says, I'd love Busquets, Suarez, and Alba. That'd be a dream. Yeah, so it's something we did speak about. Yes, my ninja. Let's go to this. Can Inter Miami afford to pay salaries of all those players, link them to? I don't know how they're going to structure that. There's a different way there with the designated players and how they do things over in MLS. So I don't know. We'd have to wait and see how they're going to have to manage that, so to speak. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the live discussion. Thank you for joining. Jonathan says, also there was an interview saying that MLS will try to get Messi ready for the World Cup in 2026. So there you go. Wouldn't surprise me, not one bit. Going back to Messi with Argentina, Vinny says, I think a lot of it depends how him and the team performs at the Copa America. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Very fair assessment. Zungao totally agrees. Excellent. I like that. I like this. Yes, my ninja says no one thought he'd play in last year's World Cup after 2018. So yes, my ninja is not going to be making that prediction. I like that. Calvin says, I think the next World Cup seems closer because we just played in December instead of the summer. If anything would convince Leo, it's La Scaloneta. I think that's fair. I think La Scaloneta could convince anybody about anything. You can tell me the sky is falling. I tell you, I don't believe you. But if Scaloni or any one of the players from La Scaloneta tell me the sky is falling, I would duck and go like that. So yes, La Scaloneta could absolutely convince them. Just like that, they got Di Maria back in. It's continuing with the chat. Hey, Taz. Welcome, Taz. Taz says the entire league paid to bring Messi over, getting some of the TV money and the percentage of the jersey sales. Messi out there playing chess. Everyone's playing checkers, and the GOAT is out there playing chess. Not surprised. I mentioned this earlier, but he said, if it was all about the money, I would have gone to Saudi Arabia, right? So it's not all about the money, but he's getting some money in a different way. Jacko Taco, it's been a while. Jacko Taco, welcome. Hello. Are you going to get a new tattoo for the World Cup? Yes. So it is something I am planning on. I got to see hopefully by the end of this year, but I am planning on getting one. So I'm trying to see how you guys can see this. I have the Copa America. This is not going to work, is it? I have the Copa America here with some dates and the number 10. Oh, this actually could work. So I'm thinking of getting the 3 stars right below here. That's what I'm thinking right there. But we'll see. That's just an idea, but I am planning on just slightly adding something to it, or adding the World Cup trophy or something. But yes, so for Argentina, I think it's a given that he's going to be there at the Copa America next year. After that, we'll wait and see. The World Cup will be 2 years after that. Does Messi wait the 2 years, or does he just retire after the Copa America? We're going to have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Calvin says, also reports saying Adidas and Apple are involved with Leo superstardom mixed with U.S. marketing. Every corporation will want a piece of that, and that's the thing. This is a massive move, and I don't think people really, myself included, right? But I don't think we fully understand the gravity in a good way, but the gravity of all of this. And I'm being honest, I'm not over exaggerating by any stretch of the imagination. Messi just won the World Cup, 7-time Ballon d'Or, the best player in the world. All of that, joining PSG, going to the MLS, the Major League Soccer, joining Inter Miami, this is huge for the sport of football in the United States and in North America. Because these young kids, or these kids or teenagers who watch Messi, just as we do, but watch him every single week and idolize him, say, man, I'd love to watch him play live one day. Then you get him in your country, and you're like, I got to do this. I got to go watch him. It's going to get people to want to watch the sport more and more. And this is the global sport. It's the biggest sport in the world. And this is massive. The amount of money that he will draw. I mean, we're already seeing it just in terms of the ticket prices right now. Before it even got confirmed, before it was even announced that Messi was joining Inter Miami, ticket prices went through the roof. I checked. I know I'm going to check now, but let me put this up here, and we're going to check together. But let me put this up here, and I'll get back to the chat in just a second. But going to this, there you go. So this picture was taken 3 hours. This screenshot I took 3 hours before Lionel Messi was announced as joining Inter Miami. It was 190,000 followers. 3 hours later, it jumped from 190 to 260. So they gained 70,000 followers in 3 hours. If we check right now, 329,000 followers. I'm going to repeat that. 329,000 followers. All right? From 190. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And that's in a span now we're looking at 5 hours. I didn't even take a look at their Instagram because I know their Instagram jumped by over 1 million, if I'm not mistaken. So the numbers, and this is just social media. We haven't even spoken ticket sales. We haven't spoken T-shirts. We haven't spoken scarves. We haven't spoken, I don't know if there's like an open training they plan on doing. We haven't spoken anything. Nothing. It's the impact that he is going to have is massive. Clicks, clips. Unreal influence, buddy. Thank you. I love that. And thank you for joining. Thank you for the comment. Guys, remember, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're watching us on replay, let me know in the comments what do you think of all this. All right, so this is nuts. I'm gonna go back to all this now. Let's go back to the chat. Maybe Messi already has a World Cup in his mind. That's why he didn't want to go to Saudi even after the ridiculous money offer. You never know. That's another possibility. Maybe he thought, hey, I'll play 2 or 3 years in the United States and get ready for the World Cup there. This is another thing. So MLS teams invited to Copa Libertadores. That's been something that's been rumored for a while, for a couple of years. I don't know if Messi's influence could have anything to do with it. If Inter somehow go from last place in the league to qualifying first, and then they do a whole thing where they do Copa Libertadores invitations. I don't know. But that has been something that's been mentioned for a couple of years. Yes, my ninja. Yes, there you go. Totally. You got to be excited, especially if you live in North America. Alfredo, welcome, Alfredo. I could see him winning another World Cup. Honestly, the World Cup. Sorry, I could see him winning another World Cup. Honestly, the Argentina team looks stacked byline. It is. They are. We are. Argentina stacked. Stacked. Etsky, love it. Thank you for the comment, buddy. Love it. Taz, yeah, this is like Pelé coming to the cosmos before most of us were born. Yeah, I've read countless articles and heard a lot of people talk about that as well. Massive influence. Pelé was huge, huge in the world of football and sport and in the world entirely. League is in much better shape than back in the 70s. Yeah, the league's in better shape. The world is different. Social media, digital marketing, it's different. It's entirely different. Yes, my ninja, I think for the national team, it's possible even a win that he can focus all of his remaining energy on it, right? If he doesn't have to play, I'm not saying Messi would slack and not play 100% in the MLS, but if maybe the pressure is a little bit less, maybe he could rest a little bit. But even with that said, and no disrespect, but even with that said, Messi's not the type to really slack off either. So, and the pressure is going to be on Messi. Pressure will be on Messi, even in MLS. People will be looking. They want him to score. They want him to do well. Pressure is going to be on him. Ehsan, thank you for joining Ehsan. Thank you for the comment as well. And thank you, everybody, once more. Ehsan says, only pray for the best for Messi because he did the best for us. Yes, he did. He has been doing the best for us for close to 20 years. 20 years, 2 decades. That's insane. When Messi scored his first World Cup goal in 2006 against Serbia and Montenegro on June 16, 2006 in Gelsenkirchen or Leipzig. I can't remember. But anyways, 6-0 against Serbia and Montenegro. The iPhone wasn't even created yet. iPhone, right? I think iPads were a thing, but iPods were a thing. iPhone. We're talking 20 years, close to 20 years now. It's incredible. He deserves this. He deserves this. Alfredo, Messi wanted Barcelona for football. Zidane wanted Saudi for money. Natanella wanted Miami for fun. That's another thing that Messi kind of denied in a way, saying, "Look, we just wanted Barcelona," because there were rumors saying his dad wanted Saudi Arabia, right? And that's what reporters were saying, and that's what we were led to believe, that his father wanted Saudi Arabia. Not the case, apparently. Apparently, everybody wanted Barcelona, apparently. All right, let's continue with the chat. I'm loving this, by the way. Loving this. Yeah, Pele Beckenbauer as well. Beckenbauer. Shao even started following Inter Miami. I'll be honest, I started following Inter Miami a couple of days ago. When we did a video, I think, a couple of days ago now, and I said, I think he goes into Miami. I had a hunch. No, I'm not an inside source or anything like that. I just kind of had a hunch that, I don't know, for me, it made sense. So I kind of started following them. Happy I did. Hey, Santiago, bienvenido. Bienvenido. Greetings from Argentina. I just want to see Leo happy. We all want to see Leo happy. Leo has to be happy. He makes us happy every day. He deserves to be happy. Yes, my ninja. Hopefully we'll get some top tier bodyguards. The last time he was in Miami, they nearly ripped him apart. There's a video that we just almost got mobbed by like hundreds and thousands of people as he was leaving. It was insane. It was insane. Rayan says, this move shows family comes first, not money or anything. Lesson for all youth. Yeah, that's it, right? Exactly. Hope he gets loaned out to Barca. Guru Sevilla, welcome Guru Sevilla. Thank you for joining. Rian, I'm on them to join Inter Miami. You think a lot of us are join Inter Miami. Guru, hope he gets loaned out to Barca for 1 season. I understand why. Gorab, welcome Gorab. Welcome. Good morning from down under, all the way from Australia. So guys, let me know, where are you from? I know Paulo Miguel is from Nigeria. Gorab is from Australia. Where's everybody else from? Right? I know we have Toronto in the house. Let me know in the comments. Where are you watching us from? Calvin, I've seen a statement of Barcelona and Jorge Messi planning a tribute. What do you think it is? It could be maybe something for a Gamper match. I don't know. Maybe the Gamper, maybe a statue, maybe next season, right? At the end of next season, a little friendly match. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Guru, watching us from Kansas City. Rich from Haiti. Bon après-midi à Haiti. Hello. San Francisco, Taz. All right, I like that. Hey, Germany. Yes, my ninja. So we got United States, Haiti, and we got United States again in San Francisco. We got Germany. We had the Toronto, Canada earlier. We had Nigeria as well. NYC for Jonathan. Be safe, Jonathan. I know you guys are getting, the effects of the wildfires in Eastern Canada and the smoke for you guys. The sky is not very, very clear. So be safe. Be safe. And let's continue. Yes, my ninja. So asks, how strong you think the MLS is at the moment? Top 30, top 20, or even better? It's tough to tell. It's really tough to tell. If we look, is it at the level of the top European leagues? I don't think so. At least not yet. It has the potential to be. Maybe a second division. Maybe a second division in Spain. Maybe at least for some of the teams. Some of the teams maybe second division in Spain, and some of the teams maybe a little bit less so. It's tough to tell. I live in North America, and I do watch a lot of football, a lot of European football, a lot of South American football, and I do watch a decent amount of MLS, and I'm going to be watching a little bit more and paying a little bit more attention. And who knows, maybe with Messi, this gets to attract more players as well. Busquets, Alba, Suarez, these are guys that are still playing at the highest level. Even Suarez in Brazil is playing very well, scoring some nice goals. Let's continue here. Hey, we got Rian from Nepal. As well. Shamo, gotta go. It's almost 4 a.m. here in Bangladesh. Oh, thank you, Shamo. And I can barely keep my eyes open. As always, it's a pleasure hearing from you, Roy, and everybody in the comment section. We'll check the reply later. Thank you, Shamo. I much appreciate it, buddy. Good night. Get some rest. Get some sleep. Good night. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Calvin, I remember the national team training at Inter Miami Stadium a year ago in preparation for match for Honduras. I remember Mundo was there in the flesh too. Yes, Mundo was there. We were there. Our videos from training and even comments from Lionel Messi are on the YouTube channel. Check it out. It's some of them are in the shorts section and some are in the video section where Argentina's training, and there's a little part where we're roughly a foot away from Messi, and we have subtitles as well, so check them out. And you are right on that, Calvin. All right, Santiago. What player can arrive next to Messi? I really want Di Maria playing with Leo. Hopefully it's Di Maria. I hope it's Di Maria. I'd love to see Di Maria and Messi play together at club level. Playing in Inter Miami, why not? Why not? They're both very good friends. Their families look to be close as well, at least their wives. And Di Maria is so good. I love the guy. So I'd love to see that. There are some rumors / reports of Di Maria, others of Leandro Paredes. I think it's too early for Paredes, but I wouldn't say no to seeing Angelito there at all. Alfredo says MLS is definitely top 15. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking in the top 20 for sure. I would say top 20. It just depends, like for example, are they ahead of the second division in Germany, but less than second division in England? It's gonna fall maybe in that kind of bracket, so to speak. Let's continue. Hey, Pablo Miguel, Argentina's winning the Copa and the Mundial again once more. Why not? All right, Keith Chief. I'm sad Messi is still plenty good enough to be playing in Europe. Look, he's still very good to be playing in Europe. No doubt about it. But we spoke about this at the start of the video. Circumstances being what they are. Him in Inter Miami, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing, all things considered, to be honest. Yes, my ninja, yeah. Messi with the number 10 again. Not the number 30 from Paris, but the number 10. For sure. I think for sure they'll give him that number. I don't think they'll give him any other number. Rio. Thank you for the kind words, Rio. Ever so grateful for this great channel, Roy. Thank you for creating it. I wonder what Seba thinks about all this. Hopefully you guys could get together soon for a little stream maybe. I hope so, man. I hope so. I've been talking to Seba almost every day. I know he loves to join me and join you guys and for us to do this together. He's just been very busy lately. He's been going through a lot in a good way, not in a bad way. He's going through a lot. So he's been a little bit busy, but trust me, whenever he's open to this, doing it whenever he has the time, he's going to join us, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But thank you for the kind words, Rio. Really appreciate it. Clicks Clips. Is there a chance Messi could win a trophy for Inter this season? They're not doing too well in the league. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult, but maybe next season, right? Tata Martino, Messi, if they get Busquets, Alba, Di Maria, Suarez, that's a team that's good enough to compete in La Liga. So I wouldn't put it behind them. Taz, doesn't Aguero live in Miami too? Barbecues at Aguero's. Matt, Aguero is a Miami resident. For anyone that follows him on social media, yeah, Aguero seems to be based most of the time in Miami these days. Calvin, I know a lot of people feeling sad, but I'm honestly happy and privileged to have watched Leo for nearly 20 years in Europe, week in, week out, masterclass after masterclass, genius. He deserves it all. He really does. He really does, and I feel the same, Calvin. I really, really do. I really do. Hey, Siobhan, hello from Miami. Look at that. Siobhan showing off in Miami. Welcome, Siobhan. Siobhan, are you going to be going to any Inter Miami matches? Let me know. Let us know. All right, guys. I love Di Maria so much, but a bit injury prone. Plus age, maybe giving a lot of minutes to Garnacho to stick it in the team could be great. We're going to do a separate video for Argentina's 2 matches against Australia and Indonesia next week. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Garnacho, Di Maria, moving forward, potentially what this means. Could Garnacho become a starter or a super sub? We're going to do all of this. We're going to talk about it. But very good question or comment, and I like that. I like that. We'll see. We'll see what gives with that. Hey, Siobhan, after you stopped going to the Ping Stadium. It's time to go back. It's the Miami life. It's the Miami life. Calvin, so in regards to Leo's first match, technically he's still signed to PSG until June 30th. So he cannot sign technically or become a player of Inter Miami before July 1st. So we got if we take a look here, let's take a look. Inter Miami. Let's take a look. We'll take a look at this. Inter Miami's schedule. Let's just kind of. By the way, guys, subscribe. It won't hurt. If we take a look at their matches, yeah, so they're going all the way until October. So October 21st against Charlotte is their last game. So technically speaking, if he signs July 1st, I guess Austin could be the first game, but more than likely would maybe be Columbus in Miami. So that could be the first game there, Lionel Messi, Inter Miami against Columbus on the 4th of July. Look at that. On the 4th of July. So Independence Day for the United States. Karthik, have you had the chance to meet Messi in person? Seen him in person, never able to interview him, if that's your question. No, unfortunately, have not had the privilege, but who knows? With him in the MLS, I might go to some press conferences and get a question. Hopefully, but we'll see. Yes, my ninja says exactly, and he deserves to leave on his terms. The feeling of Leo with the ball is not going to change wherever he plays. That's exactly it. Exactly it. Zungao, I think number 100 for Leo in Miami jersey is so cool. Give him the number 100. If he cannot get the 10, give him the 100. Because, is that are they allowed to give the hundreds, the 3 digits in the MLS? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are there in regards to the numbers. But yeah, it's been a big day. It's been a massive day or massive couple of days in regards to Lionel Messi. What this means for us is obviously we're going to be covering Inter Miami, just as we cover, for example, Atlanta United with Thiago Almada, but we're going to be covering Inter Miami with Messi, his goals, his assists, all the news, and we're going to have another live video previewing. Well, I'm going to try to do another live video previewing the Champions League final, Manchester City. So Julian Alvarez and Maximo Perrone against Inter. So Lautaro Martinez, Joaquin Correa, and Valentin Carboni. We're going to talk about all of that. And then we're going to have another video previewing Argentina's match versus Australia, and then a review video, and then a preview video against Indonesia, and a review video against Indonesia. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. You don't want to miss a thing. Trust me on that. Yeah, Calvin, every other stadium is going to be packed and ticket prices will be ridiculous, like you said. Absolutely will be. Karthik, I wish you got to interview him. Thank you. I wish so too. You're a student in Michigan, surely planning to get to see the GOAT in Miami. You have to try and see him. All right. So Abhijay, good question. Thank you for that. We spoke about this earlier. I don't think so. We spoke about it earlier because of the comments from Barcelona, or the statement that was released. It seemed a little bit sour in my opinion. I don't think so. But anyways, it's a big day. It's a big week. It's a big month for Argentina. We're kicking it off with Messi joining Inter Miami. We got a free agent in Angel Di Maria. What's going to happen with Paredes and some of the other players as well? And then we got 2 friendly matches against Australia and Indonesia. So we got a lot of stuff. And Rodri's sad. Don't be sad. Do not be sad, Rodri. No, don't be sad. It's okay. Chauvin, there are great Argentinian steakhouses in Miami. I think Messi and family would love Miami. Time to buy a new jersey. There you go. Yes. We're going to get an Inter Miami jersey with Messi's name on it. All right, everybody. I want to thank you all so much. We're going on an hour here. We could do this for hours and hours. But I appreciate it. Yes, Calvin, you've seen the latest videos. If you guys haven't, make sure you do. When do you think the doc is released? So the documentary, right? We're getting a Lionel Messi documentary on Apple TV Plus. I don't know when it's going to be released. I think they might try and plan something maybe this summer, at least try and release it in the summer. It's a 4-part documentary. Check out all the information in the video on Mundo Albiceleste or on the YouTube channel. Check it out. It's all there. Hopefully it gets released in the summer. We don't have a release date just yet. But on that note, I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me live. If you're watching us on repeat, thank you so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the move. What do you think this means for Messi's Argentina career moving forward? Will he play at the World Cup or not? Let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notifications button to be the first person notified as soon as a new video drops. Once more, thank you, everybody. My name is Roy Nemmer of MundoAlbiceleste.com. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching.